Morning, everybody. I am Jared O'Leary, and I've been drumming since 1998, but I'm not very good on the drum kit yet. Give it time, decades. We'll get there. In these practice streams, I like to share what I'm practicing, how I'm trying to get better. There are over 300 of them. In fact, this is a 350th, no, 49th. N minus 2. 349th practice stream, and in these practice streams, I share timestamps in the description that shows what I was practicing or what I was talking about. I have multiple chats up at the moment, and people often ask me some questions like, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? And I will edit those down often and put them into these drumming tips videos. There's over a dozen hours of drumming tips inside of this playlist. Lots of content in here on a wide range of topics, like whether or not you should take a gap year with the DCI or WGI, or we could talk about what is your left hand supposed to look like with traditional grip, blah, 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 blah. All these videos that say members first are all scheduled to release for free. For example, this one's coming out on Friday, so stay tuned for that one. And then there will be another one next Friday as well. Good morning, Tyler. But all of these play-alongs I'm about to use can be found on the home tab of YouTube. There's literally over 2,000 of them. Over 2,000. If you go to the drumming content, I also make gaming, computer science stuff, but if you click on the header, that's where it expands to show you all of the playlists, and you just keep scrolling, and it keeps loading more playlists and more and more. Now, for every one of the videos in here, whether it's the drumming tips or the play-alongs or whatever, there's a link at the top of the description, and that link will take you to jaredoleary.com/drum. It's also right here. And this is where you can find everything organized neater than I can do on YouTube. So I recommend going here. There's 62 chop exercises in this section. There's over 1,000 grid variations here. 419 for triplet, 577 for 16th note, and then some wacky ones in here, 36 of them, with more to come. Stay tuned. There's over 150 timing exercises. I might play some of those today while working on the limb independence if I need to. Otherwise, I'm going to be focusing on the 55 drum charts in here. They go from 40 BPM all the way up to 240, both straight and swung. And if you're not sure how to develop a limb independence, check out this video right here. I outline it in there, so that'll give you an idea of what I'm about to do. There's over 440 marching bass stuff. There's almost 400 technique exercises, and then there's a bunch of tips, lessons, etc. that'll keep you busy for quite some time. Now, if you're like, this is a lot, how do I get started? Well, at the very top is a video that says, start here if you don't know what to practice. And it kind of outlines some suggestions in the timestamps in the description. Like, if you want to work on your rolls, well, then I've got a bunch of exercises under the technique stuff that work on rolls, like triplet diddle, 16th note diddle, roll timing, 5-stroke timing, diddle timing, blah, 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 blah. So check out this video right there if you're overwhelmed with all of the content. You're welcome. It's free. Again, all the videos that say members first are scheduled to release for free. There's over 450 of those, so stay tuned for a new one daily. Over a year's worth of content, because I am obsessive about creating content that I enjoy. Speaking of obsessive, I'm obsessive over Shia LaBeouf motivating me to work on limb independence. So we are going to hide Shia. Don't worry, he's there in spirit. And I'm going to get myself motivated with the power of Shia LaBeouf. Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just do it. Make your dreams come true. Just do it. Some people dream success. Well, you're going to wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not going to stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it! Just do it! Yes, you can! Just do it! He spits there. If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. Oh yeah, Shia LaBeouf, thank you so much. Look at that flex. I am super motivated now. Now, the book that I'm using to practice, by the way, is called 50 Ways to Syncopation. It's this one by Don Moyle. I highly recommend the book. It's got 50 ways to practice the syncopation solos at the end of Ted Reed's book, Syncopation, but it's also got 20 different charts in here that you can read. Now, the way that I'm developing this is through Gary Chester's interdependence method, which is in New Breed 1 and 2, so I recommend those as well. Or just use the stuff on my website, whatever you want. Or all of the above. You don't have to pick one over the other. Now, the one that I'm working on today, starting with to warm up, is a slow 16th note swung. Ding, 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 ding. I'm going to read the 8th notes on the snare drum. Anything longer than an 8th note, I'm going to read on the bass drum. The bass drum. For those of you who are like, what? Does Jared not know how to pronounce it? Nope, I don't. The bass drum. Okay, so we're going to go into the straight charts. And sure, 6 through 10 sounds great. Good luck, Jared. Thanks. Appreciate it. With all the play-alongs, you go into the timestamps in the description and you click, and then it'll count you off. It's muted on your end, but I promise there's a play-along there. Ah, yes, the bass drum. Tyler, I loved your video yesterday. It made me laugh. I showed it to my wife. She also laughed. Hilarious. The one on Reddit, just to clarify. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, in case you have others. Sweet. I did it. You're welcome. A 1, a 2, here we go. Okay, this is like going better than I thought it would. After, what, like 3 weeks of having not played it? It's tolerable. 1, 2, ready, and. That one, I wanted to make it, like, a little uncomfortable to play through. Because, like, you expect it to hit on 3, and then it's on the and you're like, wait, what? For that snare? 1, 2, ready, and. Ooh-wee. This one's hard. Yeah, it's weird. There's so much space in it. The hi-hat on 3 also just like messes with me, but it's such an open phrase to work through. Yeah, that was honestly, I was kind of dreading playing through that. I was like, this is going to sound terrible. It was mostly technically proficient. Yay! Ooh, success. Look. So if you look at column A, that is the average of like how long I've been playing through this. And it finally switched over. I graduated. I should go get my cap and gown. Put that on. That means next time I don't need to play through this. Yay! So on average, it's now technically proficient. Before it was meh. So when I'm playing through these, this spreadsheet like keeps track of like how I'm playing, and I'm skipping all the ones that are technically proficient or musical because, you know, I don't need to practice those. I need to focus on the ones I'm not good at, like this one we'll do here in a minute. But first, a word from today's sponsor. Just kidding. We're going to stretch massage. So I'm going to take my sticks, pull it in, push it through. Ooh-wee. By the way, I saw somebody who did not get the joke for your video. And they were replying to it as if that was like a serious rep. And that also made me laugh about as hard as the video itself. No. The sound that you're hearing and you're critiquing, that's the sound of the joke flying over your head. It's not a tear in the ensemble. The amount of times like I've made a joke, like especially when I'm doing gaming stuff, like because of my dry, sarcastic nature, and then I'll like share it as a clip and like people just like don't get it. And they'll like try and correct me on some things. Like, I know, it's called a joke. You clearly did not get it. Thank you for your participation. Your engagement is appreciated. I'm stretching the underside of the forearms, so we're just pulling back. If you want a deeper stretch, do 2 fingers and then do 2 fingers. After this stretch and massage routine, then we'll get back into playing some limb independent stuff. And now I'll do this. So I'm stretching the top side of the forearms, and this just goes twice as fast if you do it on your legs. You could also do 2 fingers. It makes it a little bit deeper. Deep nest. All right, now we're going to do thumb to thumb. Speaking of deep nest, here in like what, an hour, I'm going to play through the last 3 bosses of Hollow Knight. And I'm probably going to get wrecked. The Nightmare King Grim. Not looking forward to that. Lives up to the name. And then there's Hollow Knight and Radiance. It's not Absolute Radiance, which is like the super fast version of it, but still, apparently, they're very difficult. So, we'll see how that goes. It might be a long stream today. But tomorrow, no streams at all. I got 2 different conflicts in the morning, so no stream. But I'll be back on Friday. And if I beat Hollow Knight today, then I'm going to probably play a different game starting Friday. And try and beat that before the 20th, which is when Assassin's Creed Shadows comes out. So stay tuned. I'm massaging now just up and down the forearm, just trying to get everything nice and relaxed. Yeah. And then after this massage routine, then I will work on the next pattern. So the next pattern is number 24 out of Dom's book. So it's 8th notes on the ride, 2 and 4 on the hi-hat, and snare plays the short notes, bass drum plays the long notes, but it does so in double time. So it's basically like playing quarter note with hi-hat on 3. It's another one of those like super open ones that like you'd think would be super easy because you're just playing quarter notes, but it's like, for whatever reason, my brain just does not compute. That's funny. Leftover spaghetti sounds good. I'm making mac and cheese on Friday. I was going to make it the other day, but ended up pushing it back. Tonight's a super simple meal. Cheese crisps. With some ghost pepper salsa and some sour cream and avocado It'll be delicious. All right, we did it. Okay, so this one. We played it last time at what speed? 160. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, so again, what am I doing? Praying to the drum gods, that's what. So 1 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the hard part for me is that hi-hat on there. Let's actually, I'm going to change it up today. So I'm going to play the same chart repeatedly. So this one is at 160, so we need to go to the different one here, so we can go a little bit faster. But we're going to play charts 6 through 10 over and over, so you can hear how it sounds different for each one of these. But there's 55 charts in here, so you can work on your sight reading and whatnot. All right. Timestamps. 160. And 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. A 1, 2, here we go. That wasn't in the sheet music. We'll see you improvise right here. So that's the famous Jared O'Leary drum solo. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, ready, and. Ah! Oh yeah, so the tied notes, think of them as extending it, so they're long notes. 1, 2, ready, and. Ah! It makes it so you can have more interesting musical phrases by having the ties in there. And then the advanced chart at the very bottom of the playlist has tenutos, and those you play as long notes as well. 1, 2, ready, and. Yay! That actually also went better than I thought it would. Success. We did not graduate. Aw, but I'm making progress on it. Mostly technically proficient while going through there. Okay. Yeah, start slow. So, what I do recommend is checking out the steps in here. So this video, it outlines the different steps at the beginning of it, and then it gives you like a bunch of different patterns to play. But the process that I recommend is based off of like Gary Chester's idea of interdependence, also some concepts that I learned for developing independence while playing four mallet stuff. And then I like fuse that all together into that system that I outlined in there. But you start off with just like the ostinato, getting the hands going, and then you work through different permutation stuff with these timing exercises, and then you get into reading through the charts. So I'm kind of skipping those steps because most of these I'm fairly comfortable with at the moment, but we'll see if that changes. Ooh, yeah, like the Songo. This one's hard. Okay, so there's here's the pattern. Nothing on the hi-hat, and honestly, that makes it harder. So it's like the Bayonne, except there's no downbeat and no hi-hat. So Bayonne is Songo, Bayonne, and you just read the pattern on the snare drum. Etc. Okay? Wish me luck on this. Will it go good? I'll let you know in like 5 minutes. 180. 6 through 10. But yeah, it's a good challenge. I really like the limb and independent stuff, like as opposed to just like sitting there and like learning beats. Like if you go to /gear, like the link right here where it says percussion books and gear I recommend, there's a lot of really cool books in here, but most of them are like beats, like showing you how to play specific beats, or even like a solo in the advanced funk studies, or funky primaries, just all like measure long, sometimes 2 measure long beats. A lot of these are that way, but the Ted Reed's approach, like, is just super cool. It's, for me, more intellectually stimulating trying to sight read stuff rather than, you know, playing a beat over and over. But to each their own. I'm not a pro drummer, at least not on kit. Here we go. The goal is to keep this ostinato pattern going while reading it. 1, 2, here we go. Some reading airs there. The Susie one was like in the 30s, I think, or 40s. 1, 2, ready, and. It was one of the last of the group of 5 in the play along. It's the very last one. I'll look it up here in a second. Ah, keep reading the rhythm wrong. Focus. Oh, 1, 2, here we go. All right, let's try. A 1, a 2, here we go. That's a fun one, right? So, like, hearing the different patterns being played with this, you can hear how, like, it completely changes the way you sight read through this. Do they go up in difficulty? No. So each one of the charts are, like, completely different feel. So every single chart, very different. And that was by design. So I wanted, like, to be able to just, like, practice sight reading easy, hard, and just kind of be able to switching through it. Let's see. Nope, it's okay. So not that one. I'm trying to find Susie for you. Do 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 do. Like this one's a weird one. Was it this one? Maybe? Yeah, all right, so this is it. 26 through 30, so it's chart number 30. If you knew Susie like I knew Susie, then you would like her too, like her too, like her too, and then it repeats it. Let's see. Yeah, so 26 to 30. Well, if everyone has one skin giving you money as a result. That's true. You know, I have played a couple of gigs where I like sight read for a jazz band, but like that was like twice. So one of the things that I did, there's a guy who was the drum kit player for any Broadway show that would come into town in Phoenix, and he would play through there, and he played in this like local jazz band, big band that had basically it was all like band directors from in the valley, and so he would like sit in there, and I ended up going and sitting right next to him, like right here, and just watching how he would read through the charts and seeing what he would do with like this and how he would turn it into the different textures and whatnot. And so I did that for like a few months, just observing, just learning, obviously with his permission, so he knew I was there. And then he was like, hey, you should come in and sit in on this. And so I like would play through some songs, but like most of the time I was just sitting and watching. So like it was a really good learning experience just to like actually see like what is the ink on the page and what is he playing to kind of complement or contrast it or whatever. So like that's something that if you can find like a drum kit player who's like willing to do that with you, like teach you by just like letting you really watch, then that can help out. So I'm kind of conflicted here. Is the limb independence was like technically proficient, but like the overall mistakes were sight reading stuff, just kind of like a mental thing. So I was making progress on it, but it's not musical yet. It's not singing yet. One day. Something sounds off with those lyrics. Yeah, so normally when you do it in a falsetto. So you go, if you knew Susie like I knew Susie. Does that sound better? That's probably what you're thinking about, right? Okay, so the next pattern I'm going to play through is this. So the next one is eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, and then you. While you read through the pattern on the snare drum. So the bass drum plays on the let. And then technically it's supposed to be the floor tom, but I'm going to play it here because my floor tom is a tabletop. Kind of like a marimba. Those are just portable tables. Last time we did it at 120. Okay, let's try 125, maybe? Let's see how it goes. All right, so now we're going into the swung charts. It's the exact same charts, but now you're going to hear it swung. And we'll just, again, stick with 6 to 10 just for showing you how it sounds completely different, even though it's the same chart. But I do recommend switching charts. If you're like learning a pattern, just like hit start on the playlist, and then once you finish like a full rep of all 5 of them, just hit next on the playlist and go to the next set of 5 and then the next set of 5. If you can get through like the first 50, don't worry about the advanced one. You should be pretty good with whatever the pattern is you're working on. Anyways, ging, ging, ding. And 2, 1, 2, ready, and. So the pattern is this. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. Ah! My brain was buffering to figure out the interpretation of the 8th note on the syncopated 8th note. Yikes. So 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and. You could also do this one on the ride, like this. You can practice it, you can learn it, I promise. Watch that video on how. Fun one, right? One BPM. Well, if you put it at quarter speed, you can get fairly close. 1, 2, ready, and... I should do the April Fools, like Susie at 1 beats a minute. That'd be hilarious. Next year. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and... That's fun, right? It's weird. And if you play that one faster... Especially with that, the let being what feels like the downbeat. But it's not. Surprise. Hey. Okay, I'm actually gonna write that down. I think it'd be hilarious to do. Susie at 1. Okay, I wrote it down. You're inspiring me. Hey, I appreciate the kind words. Thank you. We're slowly getting better. Alright, so it was mostly technically proficient. Had some reading errors, but overall, I had fun with it. I enjoyed it. I did not graduate from it, but, you know, it's getting better. Cool. So now I want to work on my feet. So I got, a couple months ago, a double pedal. Whee! But I've never worked up double pedal, so I'm going to do that. Yes. All right, so 65 to 69. We're going to do Rebound. Yeah, so if you have the analog clock, you could do that. You could also, like, set up a play along for yourself where you could, like, hear the pickup. So, like, and 1. But, like, have that in an earbud so that way you can, like, make sure it's actually and 1. The hard part is, like, a minute of continuous motion. Just slowly moving your stick up. And 1. Do it. How long would it take, though? It'd take quite some time. About 7 years, approximately. Give or take 5 years. Okay, so Rebound. So if we go into the limb independent stuff, it's under the timing transitions. Now, most of these are currently members first. So again, they're all scheduled to release. Like this one came out yesterday. This one will come out in a couple of days. Then this one, then this one. And they get like significantly wackier, like quintuplet and a 9/8, like stuff like that. But the one I'm going to do is Rebound. So this one, I'm working on my foot. So I'm trying to get what's called heel and then what's called toe, kind of a rocking motion, attempting to get that. So Jojo Mayer better explains it in his DVD. I forget the name of it, but it's a good one. His like technique one. I recommend that. So that's what I'm going to be working on here. So I'm going to do right, right, left, left. We played as 8th notes or 16th notes? Ooh, good question. I typically write out Susie as like 16th notes. 1, 2, ready, and already getting extra notes. Trying to be more efficient with my motions. Left, left, right, right, left, left. But it would be funnier probably to write it out as 8th notes, so it's slower. The dreaded triplet. Why? My feet are doing that again. That's funny. I wonder if Sibelius actually goes that slow. I have like set it to like, I don't know, like 1,000 BPM or something on accident, where like it didn't delete the number that I was typing and then it just like added to it. But I haven't tried super slow. Be hilarious. Yeah, I mean, I've got like Sibelius can handle like a few hours, so that's all within the range. You know MuseScore does it? Okay, cool. What if he set it to 0? They gotta have a condition for that, right? If set to 0, redirect to 120, or something like that. Although it'd probably be like if less than 1, so that way you can account for negative numbers, because, you know, some people do that. Otherwise, you like crash the program attempting to play it negatively. Watch, it plays it backwards. A retrograde. That's the technical term when you take something and you play it backwards. Whoop. Music theory-wise, that is. That's funny. That'd be great. Please pay me to eat your food. I'm an influencer, after all. My left is weird today. Yeah, what is up with the triplets? It's in that gray area where I'm not able to get the technique down. Get good. I like how for these pedals, it looks like there's a face on it. It makes me laugh. It's just like looking up at me. It's like a Hollow Knight character. Yikes. Actually, that's hilarious, Tyler. I wonder, because like there's some fast food places that apparently are going like touch screens, so you don't have to like talk to people. It'd be hilarious if it was like a drive-through. I don't know. Do they do that? Like I try not to eat out at all to like save money, but like especially I try and avoid most fast food. But that'd be interesting to have AI as a operator basically to order your food. And then you could just use prompts like that. They do that? Interesting. Huh. Pretty soon it's going to be like, what do teenagers do to get a job? Why? Why is it getting an extra note? Wait, am I misreading that word? Is Bojangles a thing? What is Bojangles? Did you, like, mistype something? Huh. Don't have those in Arizona, I don't think. I haven't messed with a spring tension. A little bit. Not enough, though. I actually preferred the spring tension of the old one on the right foot, and it's like slightly different. But I'm trying to like get used to it and then see if I need to adjust it more. But because I don't have like a solid reference point, because like I've never worked it up off the left, I just don't know what to set it to. So I'm kind of guessing here. Poorly. I've never heard of Bojangles. No. Is that a thing? What do they sell? Do they sell food that makes jingly sounds? We were at the Ren Festival on Saturday, the Renaissance Festival. It was amazing how many people like walked around and just every step they jingle, jangle, jingle. Make things very annoying. They probably hear it in their sleep. All right, so we're going to do Chug with Hurt Does. What speed is this at? 65? Sure. All right, so I'm going to switch between two different approaches. So one where the heel is down the whole time, and so I'm tappy tap like this, and then one where the heel is up the entire time, and I'm like lifting like that. So that's the plan. Wish me luck. Southern food like fried chicken. Interesting. Yeah. Never heard of it. Yeah, we just have mostly like Mexican related stuff in Phoenix. Okay, so that was heel up. Yeah, like Phoenix has like everything because it's just a massive city, but mostly a Mexican, which makes sense. Did you say 47 because I'm Agent 47? Heel up. No, there are some Tex-Mex places, but mostly just like authentic Mexican, because like we're not far from the border. Like there's this fine dining experience called Taco Bell. Ooh, so yeah, the heel up. Still working on that. It's fire. Thanks. I like it. It's a fun exercise. So this one you can go slower or you can go faster. Am I ready to go faster? No. Will we try it? Sure. I'm gonna regret this. I saw your chat and I replied to your chat. There's a delay on the tube of you. All right, so I'm gonna do heel down. Flawless. Let's try it at 90. I think I could actually like sort of do it. Maybe. Wish me luck. And 2, and 1, 2. Yeah, it's not getting the third note on the Herta. I think it's because I'm leaving the pedal in the head, so it's not getting the vibration down on the trigger. But I can almost play it there, but we need to keep practicing it slow. All of these play-alongs, literally thousands of them, you can find here on my home tab of YouTube. If you go here, we've got drumming, gaming, computer science stuff. We're going to play Hollow Knight in a minute, so stay tuned for that. But if you click on the drumming content, it shows you all of the play-alongs. There's a lot. But if you want to find it organized neater, in the timestamps where, you know, all the BPMs are, if you go to the very first link, /drum, if you're on vertical, jaredoleary.com/drum, that takes you to here, where we got all the chop exercise organized nice and neatly. We've got over 1,000 grid variations. Focus on rudiment on one. Don't worry about the wacky stuff. We've got 150 plus timing exercises, 55 charts, straight and swung, a video showing you how to develop limb independence, over 400 marching bass stuff, just under 400 technique stuff. Like if you want to work on your endurance and speed, you can do that. If you want to work on your timing, you can do that. Blah, 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 blah. And then a bunch of tips, all the live streams, some lessons, etc., etc., etc. Keep you busy for a while. We did the math one day. It would take you about a year to get through all of this if you spent 8 hours a day, every single day, going through this content. It's probably over that now, because, you know, I release a new one every day. Stay tuned for more. Okay, so Tyler, you can defend yourself there when doing that. You're giving yourself data that you're collecting that you can then use to refine things slow. It's okay to do that, like, 5-10% of your practice time. I do that all the time. It gives me data like, oh wow, that stunk, like what I was just playing through. Knowing I shouldn't leave my foot pressing down into that, that's something that I can now work up at half that speed that I was just playing at. So whenever you do that, as long as you're not spending like all of your practice session like, oh, let's go faster, it sounded bad. Ooh, let's go faster, it sounded worse. If that's not what you're doing every single time, the entire time, then you'll be all right. And besides, having seen your playing, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. Anyways, I'm going to call it here. I'm going to get ready to get my face smashed in repeatedly, probably for a couple of hours. We're going to fight the last 3 bosses in Hollow Knight. So if you go to /game on my website, you can find all the highlights here and then like all the prior streams. But in Hollow Knight, it's 1, a platformer, and I'm not great at those, but 2, it's kind of like 9 Souls in terms of the combat. Great game. But the last 3 bosses. 2 of them are considered to be some of the hardest bosses ever. Not just in this game, but ever. So wish me luck with that. So I'm going to tear this down, and I'm going to like prepare myself for a beating. I will try and massage my shoulders, get myself ready to get pummeled repeatedly for maybe a long time. Or, you know, maybe it'll be a very short stream because it's only 3 bosses. I'll one-shot them all, right? Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to call it here. If you enjoyed this content, just share it with somebody else. Or just send me virtual high five. Thank you. I needed that. But I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Tyler, thanks for stopping in. Dev, thank you for stopping in. And goodbye.